Bottom line, Jan Helfeld with the Bottom Line.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, do you think ISIS is an imminent threat to America?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I do. Actually, I work for Fox News. So,
it's okay.
No, I think it's a very real threat. I think what's going on over there, just in terms of what happened to like the American journalists, shows that they're willing to stop at nothing. Beheading someone is a very brutal way to kill someone, and I think that just shows the vigor they have to do that on a larger scale. There's been reports that ISIS has some cells down in Mexico, so I think they're willing to stop at nothing. I think that the border crisis that's going on shows them that we've got way too much on our hands right now, and that they can get in because we're so freaking distracted that it's like, you know. So yeah, I do. I think they're a very real threat, and I think nobody's doing anything about it.
What's your name?
So, Jen Bowman. Jen Bowman.
Jen Bowman,
yeah.
Yes. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, do you think that they can destroy America, ISIS? Do they have the means to destroy us? Like, do they have an air force?
I don't think they have the exact means to destroy us yet. I think they're very strong. I think they have some very smart operatives. I think they could figure out how to do so.
But they don't have an air force.
They don't have an air force right now. What
do they have a Navy?
No, what they have is some very small-scale weaponry, but they do have, the weaponry is American. When they invaded Iraq and the army ran off, they acquired some weaponry.
That's right.
And I think that the fact that they have that means that's a building block to the next thing. I don't believe that they are ready to completely destroy the United States, but they've marched through Iraq and decided they're taking over large cities in the country.
But have they
they've been able to do that?
Have they been able to defeat Assad?
No.
Have they been able to topple the Iraqi government?
No, not yet. But the Iraqi government is not inclusive enough for that to not happen either.
But even if they controlled the Syria and Iraq, let's say they were lucky and they were able to defeat Iraq and defeat Syria, would they have the means to destroy America?
There's potential to that statement, but I'm not 100% sure. I think
because they don't
have the weaponry, but they are stronger and they have more money than AQAP had before 9/11.
They could establish a theocracy.
And look what AQAP did to us in 9/11. They didn't destroy the whole country.
No, they can commit a terrorist act here or there, but it's not going to destroy America. It's not a really threat to.
No, I agree.
Which countries could destroy America right now?
Oh,
right now, like that, with just a snap of the finger.
Potentially Russia.
Absolutely. If Putin wanted to destroy America right now, they could. He could snap his fingers and unleash nuclear missiles, and you and me would be destroyed as we speak, right?
Yes, but I still think that ISIS could be a threat.
In the far future?
In the future, yes.
When they acquired an air force?
Now, because what they're doing right now.
When they acquired an air force and a navy?
If they did that.
And you don't think that they would be happy like Iran is to have their own little theocracy?
No, because the desire for power, we've seen this in the past, what it does, nothing good. Well, that's what they want. This is what I am convinced of is that this is a 1,000+ not hundreds of thousands, but couple thousand-year religious war that they're fighting.
Oh yeah, they want to topple secular governments.
That's what they want. So if they want to topple secular governments over there, if they had the chance to do that here, they would. But
are they going to attack Russia too? Because Russia's a secular government.
They might. But Putin has already said that he's not going to stand for that. He's already put out there that he's going to defend his country against. Of course, you know, you've got him in Ukraine that are having a grand old party over there right now. But
at the moment, they're not a threat to America, right? Because they don't have the means. And we've established that Russia does, like China does. Those are countries that do have the means to attack us and destroy us. But they haven't even been able to defeat Assad or the Iraqi government.
Well, sir, I hate to move just on that side.
Oh.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No,
they told me to have you.
Oh, okay.
But no, I agree what you're saying in regard to that right now, at this very moment, they don't have the capability to completely wipe our country out. You're right, but they're building towards that. They're building towards that. That's the problem.
Right.
They're on the stepping stones to doing that, and they're trading oil on the black market. That's a big business. They've got millions of dollars behind them.
Compared to Assad or Iraq?
I mean, they're not
even as rich or powerful as Iraq or Syria.
But it's still a work in progress, and that to me is concerning. Whether they do a terrorist attack like 9/11 was, and I mean, we're concerned about that.
They're busy fighting. They're busy
over there, but they don't like their anti-America message is so strong.
Oh yeah, they don't like America.
So if they had the chance to do it here,
if they had magic carpets and they could magically.
They might have magic carpets. Hey, I got to get to work. I appreciate you asking me questions.
It was nice talking.
What outlet are you in?
The Bottom Line.
Okay.
Yes. And I appreciate you sharing your views with us.
No problem.
I would just wanted the only thing I didn't get a chance to ask you is your view on the Constitution. In the Constitution, it says that the government should use military force in the common defense of the states, but doesn't say anything about being the policeman of the world or liberating and protecting foreigners. So would you be in favor of following the Constitution and limiting our military action to defending the states? In other words, when we're attacked or an imminent threat of attack? That's why I asked you the question, are they an imminent threat? Because if they're not an imminent threat, then
you don't think we should send troops over there? Here's what I think. I think we need to have a coalition of countries. Here's what I think. The people over there, the indigenous people of those lands, the Sunnis, the Shia, the Kurds, they know the land, they know the cultures, they know the customs. I think to involve those people and build a coalition of neighborhoods there that would help fight against ISIS, it would be very brave. They'd have to be very brave to do that. These guys are brutal.
But are you in favor of following the Constitution?
I'm in favor of following the Constitution.
So
as
if the Constitution says that we can only use military force in the defense of the states. So unless somebody's attacking us, well, we are not defending ourselves. If we go over there to be policemen of the world or to help this country or that country.
But hasn't it always been for a long time a kind of like an unwritten rule that the United States leads the world in military operations?
The United States has been violating the Constitution.
So you think they've been violating the Constitution?
Absolutely, because Iraq was not a defensive action. It posed no threat to America.
See, the Middle East partners
and Libya did not either.
But the Middle East partners has
Vietnam didn't either, and so on.
But what I'm saying is that the people over there have taken matters in their own hands, and it's not working. It's not working. I'm not saying that when we went into Iraq that was like 100, but we were attacked when we went into Iraq. They came over here.
Iraq attacked us?
No, the terrorists in the country attacked us. So we went in there to eliminate those terror cells.
Iraq?
Not the country. Not the
terrorists
government.
From Iraq?
The terrorists. Operation Iraqi Freedom. We went in there to liberate the people from the terrorists.
No, we liberated them from Saddam Hussein.
Well, Saddam too.
Saddam Hussein killed the terrorists. He was not a Muslim fundamentalist. He was a secularist.
Right.
He was every time he caught those terrorists, he just destroyed them with no mercy. So they had not attacked. He was not.
Well, he didn't attack us. I'm not saying that he attacked us.
There weren't any terrorists. There weren't any terrorists in Iraq because Saddam Hussein would kill them.
But the terrorists they came from Syria and
there was terrorists.
Iran,
there was terrorists in Afghanistan and other countries, but not in Iraq.
Okay, but we still went into Iraq to liberate the people from Saddam Hussein.
Well, because Cheney said that we couldn't wait until we saw the mushroom cloud. In other words, so
there was a general concern about the fact that may happen.
He said that Iraq was going to attack us when they didn't have the means. It turned out to be a false pretext.
So your point is that the ISIS doesn't have the means still.
Doesn't have. I think you have to worry about the countries that have the means. Then later, if they have the means, do they have the plan?
But is it a growing problem that we've known about for a few years and haven't done anything about with ISIS, and now they are getting a little bit stronger?
It is a growing problem for the people in Syria and Iraq, but not us.
But so you're saying we shouldn't help anybody else in the world? We should stay isolationist to ourselves and not pay attention to the problems that are going on over there? Because that's foreign policy.
I'm saying we should follow the Constitution and limit our military actions to defensive actions, in defense of the states, and not send young men and women like yourselves to risk their lives.
In the military, I get it.
Oh,
I understand.
So I view myself as a protector of the military and save these patriotic people for self-defense when we need them. But if we're squandering their goodwill all over the world, engaging in military action that really have nothing to do with the security of the United States, well, sooner or later they're going to figure it out, and there won't be people to volunteer.
My point is, can ISIS attack us today and wipe the country out? No. Will it be able to at some point? I believe so.
At some point?
If it's in 2 months, if it's in 2 years, if it's in 10 years.
How would you know?
Why not figure out squashing that problem now?
But you don't even know if they're going to beat Assad or Iraq.
They may not.
And so if they don't, then they don't have the country. They don't even have a country.
Their concern may not necessarily be centered around Assad and Iraq. They may really want to just come gunning after the United States. That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
that may be their priority over that because of, I mean, look at the beheading of the 2 Americans.
These are Muslim fundamentalists. Their priority is to live according to Sharia law.
Right.
So they want to have their little country there where they force everybody to be Muslims.
And they want to force everybody else to be Muslims too.
The other people, as long Iran has a theocracy and they are not invading other countries. Why? Because the leaders are happy, because they have their power, they have their Sharia law, they have their 6 wives.
Are they going to be happy when ISIS comes marching into their country too? And says, we want to make you live by our standards?
Iran doesn't feel a threat from ISIS because they know...
You know this for a fact?
Well, how can it be a threat?
Have you talked to the government of Iran and them tell you that they don't feel a threat from ISIS? I'm just asking. I'm just asking for a factual basis.
It's just a matter of reasoning that these people do not pose a threat to Iran. Is a powerful country, and Iran is weak compared to America. In other words,
so they would prey on someone like Iran before they prey on America. I understand what you're saying.
ISIS is not a formidable military threat to anybody. They haven't even been able to beat Assad, who is not a formidable threat to anybody. Syria and Iraq got together and they tried to attack Israel 3 or 4 times with Egypt and other countries. And every time Israel gave them a royal beating. Why? Because these are weak powers. Even baby Israel, Israel can defeat them.
It's like putting a Band-Aid on a wound that's kind of bleeding, that's never going to heal. And
it's not our wound. They're not attacking us.
So it's not, what your point is that it's not our job to go over.
I don't see any ISIS people around here attacking us.
You don't know that? Homegrown terrorism was a big deal.
You think there's some ISIS people here?
There could be.
Really? Have you met or heard of any ISIS people here attacking America?
Have I met anybody? Not yet, but they're just starting their plan. They have to be just starting right. I really have to get to work.
Well, it was fun talking to you.
I really appreciate talking to you.
Bye.
Have a good luck.
Bye.
Good luck.